check my laser gun and I go pew, 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 pew.
Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a super special guest that I'm very excited to introduce. It is none other than Sara Benyo herself. Sara, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'm so excited for the crazy chats that we're about to have.
Oh my gosh, of course. Literally one of my favorite people ever.
Well, before we get into like our loopy conversations, I want to talk about your music and all of the exciting things that you have just released and all of the things that you have coming up. I know you just dropped some new tracks and people are absolutely loving them, eating them up. And we can start with my personal favorite, which is Hate Me. So I would love to talk about what the lyrics mean to you. How did you go about writing that? What was that process like as an artist?
Yeah, of course. First of all, I love that you love that song. I feel like
Yeah.
it stands out a little bit different in the production than what I put out previously, so I'm really glad that you like it. Too,
Yes.
as far as lyrics go, I always find some way to draw from personal inspiration, and sometimes it might not be like the whole story of the song is like personal and like info or like
Mm-hmm.
diary entry, I should say. But like I take a personal experience and then kind of elaborate it and turn it into a story. So Hate Me was definitely one of those. I've kind of, I guess the overall theme I could say would be turning energy or like evil eye energy from people who maybe want to see like not see you succeed or try to push you down. You take that energy and you like alchemize it, and when you're like, you know what, go ahead, you can hate me because I'm just going to reflect this back at you into light, and I'm gonna sin, bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
because like the hook is like light me up because I'm not fading, like the moon illuminate me, take
Yes.
control, save my soul, I love it when you hate me. So basically it's just saying like, you know, it was kind of like a big fuck you to one of my exes, but it's like, you know what, like
Yeah.
anybody who tries to treat you unfairly, like you can prove anybody wrong if you want to do something or be a good person or chase a dream or whatever.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm so here for that energy. And I feel like just as a generation as a whole, we very much stand by matching energy. Like, if you're going to give me some shit ass energy, then I'm either going to walk away or I'm going to give it back to you. And I just feel like as I get older, I'm learning that more and more because personally, which is why I relate to this song, is I would always give people in a toxic way to a point where I would have nothing left. And so growing up, you're learning that you have to protect yourself in some way, unfortunately, in this world. So I love the lyrics and I very much stand behind that energy.
Exactly. And I feel like it's like a song for those people, you know, like I feel like you and I are similar where I feel like we are probably like people pleasers or we just love everyone, and sometimes like being so empathetic and having so much love in your heart, people can like take that for granted. And like for me, it's like I always try to be like a positive person, but then like there is that underlying like, you know, energy that you hold where something is toxic and it makes you angry. So like for me, instead of like dealing with that in a like toxic way, like I channel it into my music, into my songs, and it's like a way to cope and heal and ascend, you know, and rise above.
Yeah, yeah, that's so beautiful. I want to ask, when you are writing these songs that you're, I don't know, almost bringing back those emotions or bringing them back up to the surface, when you get into those creative modes, does it just flow easily or do you kind of get into your head and does it like take time to kind of put the thoughts into lyrics, or is it something that clicks naturally?
I would say a little bit of both. I would say sometimes you get that like hit of inspiration, and for me, maybe like the first half of the song will flow, and then I always get like I call it second verse curse, where I'm like, okay, well now I have to like think a little bit more deeply, take some time, rather than like I said, the first half sometimes just comes almost within the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. That's beautiful. Like I personally will write poems and I'm like, oh my God, I can only imagine being able to produce music and how beautiful that would be. So that's awesome for sure.
You should. I mean, and a lot of people do that. There's a lot of people who aren't singers that are just songwriters, and I think people forget that, especially with EDM. There's so
Yeah.
many different categories of what you can be. Um, but a lot of people just write poetry, and if they have some kind of a tune of the idea that they want to present to an artist, that they can do that. A lot of people do that.
I might be reaching out to you then. I have some words I want to
You
share with you.
should. You should.
Amazing. And then I want to talk about a few other tracks that have recently come out by you that are just awesome. And one of them is also Leave It All Behind. So can you tell me a little bit more about that? I know people that I talk to, that is actually one of the more popular ones, at least in my fam. People are like, play that one, play that one. So I would love to hear your thoughts and take on that.
Oh, that's so cool. It's always like cool hearing everyone's favorite songs because then it also helps me gauge like what I should play live. So and
Yeah,
like what I want
yeah.
to perform. So that's so cool. But yeah, Leave It All Behind is awesome. I worked with a guy named Rin on that. Super cool producer in Canada. He presented me the production on that one, and I honestly love writing to production because I feel like for me, I think you call it synesthesia. I don't know the exact pronunciation of it, but it's like where you basically can like see a vision when you hear music. I don't know if you've heard of that, like where you see shapes and colors.
No, but I
But
love that.
yeah, so I guess like for me when I hear like production, and one reason I like writing to when people send me like ideas is I immediately have the ideas like I was saying for the lyrics. And so with that production, it was like very cinematic. I don't know, it's very powerful.
Hmm.
So um again, kind of used like personal experience as inspiration, and I wanted to paint the story of you're like falling in love with someone but you're kind of fighting it. Maybe you guys both have a past, but when you really love someone you essentially leave it all behind. So the hook is kind of just like talking about like, okay, when we touch, like sparks collide, da 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 da, so let's like leave it all behind essentially.
Ah, oh
There's a
my
million
God.
reasons why to leave it all behind, especially when it's the right person. But I wanted
Yes,
to have
for
like
sure.
a cinematic, mysterious feel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that comes across as you listen to it. I definitely pick up on that vibe for sure. Well, then
Oh,
this can
that's awesome.
transition us into the next song because Drown. Let's talk about that.
Yes, honestly, that is another one I really love. I like that one a lot because it almost has like a pop EDM crossover feel to it a bit.
Yeah.
I feel like the hook and everything in the song and the verse and etc. all feel very like poppy, and then
Mm-hmm.
you get hit at that like melodic drop, which I love too because it kind of gives like
Yes.
more time for I guess like kind of the songwriting to shine while also
Mm-hmm.
being hit with a nice drop too. But yeah, Chassis is awesome. We worked on that one together. Um, I wrote that about the time period of kind of like let's say you're in a relationship and you've been healing for a while and there's still that like lingeringness. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you've like done everything in your power to get over this person, and you're kind of just like, well, I'm in limbo. It's like you're almost over them, but you're not quite there. Like you still have those random moments where you're
Mm-hmm.
like sad for no reason, or you're reminiscing of what it used to be, even if they're terrible for you. You might be, 2 years into your healing, and so it's kind of just like that limbo period of just like waiting, essentially for your love to drown, to just not think about them anymore, to let time heal everything.
Damn. That's powerful as fuck. It seems like music is your outlet to express yourself for someone who may be stuck in that rut or still have those lingering feelings that are just weighing them down. What advice would you give to someone, or maybe techniques that you may have used to kind of move on, outside of music? What are some things some people could do to kind of help recover and help heal and kind of move on to a better place?
I can honestly say the thing that has helped me the most, and the advice I would give someone is to do whatever it takes to empower yourself. Because I think in my own personal circumstances, I felt like I let that person define so much who I was, and being like a giver and someone who wants to just love
Mm-hmm.
someone and hold on till the last minute, or like
Mm-hmm.
be, essentially with someone forever. I don't know. Like, for instance, like I grew up in the Bible Belt, so you're taught to like, it's either gonna end in marriage or you're gonna break up, and it's like I don't think that's a healthy teaching personally for me
Mm-hmm.
because I think it made me growing up holding on to relationships that weren't for me for way too long because in my head I wanted everything to essentially end in marriage. That honestly can be scary because then you can like let somebody else have so much power over you and, gaslight you into thinking maybe that you're the problem. And then you're staying in a relationship for way too long,
Mm-hmm.
versus if like you were like, wait, actually, I am amazing. I am beautiful. I do deserve all of these things. And there is someone out there who can give me these things and I can do this on my own. I
Absolutely.
am a bad bitch. Like, I don't need this person and I can get whatever I want without them. And somebody else would happily feel that for me. I think that is like what truly gives you the power to walk away. And, sometimes you can't do that on your own. Sometimes it's friends reminding you of that, or take a
Mm-hmm.
person that's really close to you, really sitting you down and finally saying what you need to hear to resonate with that. But, simple as like writing down affirmations, you might not believe it
Mm,
immediately, but if you keep telling yourself you deserve better,
absolutely.
it took me, I would say there was a relationship I was in several years ago that lasted for 3 years, and it took, 3 years of me healing to heal enough to where I could walk away. So just be gentle with yourself too. Not every day is perfect, and it might not take, a week to get over someone or to leave that person. It might not take a month. It might not take 6 months. But if you truly believe in yourself and you just keep empowering yourself and healing and surrounding yourself with good people and reminding yourself of how beautiful and worthy you actually are, you'll eventually have the strength to walk away. And you'll have a beautiful support group around you, and the universe will always bless that. Bless you doing the right thing.
Bitch!
Oh, I
Got
could
me
go on
right here.
forever. I could go on forever, honestly. I hope that was like helpful, but it's really like kind of opening up a can of worms with that question because I feel like there's so
Totally.
much, spiritually, physically,
Yes.
mentally, because of, a breakup is so subjective to person to person. One
Mm-hmm.
person might be like, ah, we were a fling, it was last summer, lasted for 3 months. Another person's like, well, I'm dealing with a breakup that was 5 years long and this is
Mm-hmm.
what happened. It's like, different for everyone, but if you're like me, I hope that resonates with you to some degree.
Oh my God. Absolutely. Not Sara Benyo, singer, vocalist, songwriter, DJ, life fucking speaker out here, boring my ass. Oh my
I don't
God.
know what possessed me. It was like, bitch, get it out. You gotta tell them, Keith.
A lot of people, when they attend festivals, those festivals are their safe spaces. That's where they can heal and they feel open to talk to other people and connect with other human beings. But when festival season ends and it's wintertime and it's really just kind of either go to a club show or that's really kind of your only other option to connect to other ravers, it's important to have those spaces. And so I personally would love to see more things like that outside of festivals. Other than socials, I don't really have any way to connect to the community, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, I feel that on so many levels. I feel like so many people these days, including myself, just I feel like crave community. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people, like you said, do find that through shows and festivals. And I would love to see more ways for people to connect, like you said, outside of festivals, because I feel like we all, I don't know,
Yeah.
are so lonely, especially after COVID. Things have just changed so
Ah,
much. I was just telling my friends I
totally.
subconsciously feel like I forget that I can hang out with people, and I end up being way more isolated than I want to be.
Yes, yes, that is so real.
I feel like the state of the world since COVID has
Mm,
gotten
mm-hmm.
so bad, and I used to never be anxious about being in like crowds at a festival. I was always the kid growing up that was like weaseling my way through the crowd at the very front of the reel, but also like
Yes.
in the waves in the thick of it, waiting through like previous artists just to see the artist and three artists ahead. Like I would do it, but now I have to be in the back because I don't know. It's
Mm-hmm.
like back or side stage.
Yes.
Even on like trains and stuff, I get really anxious. Didn't used to be.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's real for sure. I also refuse to go in a crowd that I don't have space. My Ray fam and I, we always go to the back right every single time. Like we don't even have to tell each other. We're like back right. Nobody really likes to go in. But yeah, to your point, like this fucking world, like, oh my God, people are just so mean to each other. It's wild and you never know what's gonna happen. You could lose your life at any moment pre-COVID, but even now it's like people are just growing more and more unhinged and uncomfortable and it's scary these days. I'm
I
scared.
know. It's like, where did this even come from? It's just insane.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like
Yeah.
rapidly increasing, you know? It's like, I feel like when at least we were growing up, you didn't hear about stuff like this. And I feel like once I graduated high school is when I really started hearing more about like shootings and stuff. And now
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I don't know if it's just like, okay, is this a product of like the times, or is it the media presenting this more, or is it our mental health as a society really deteriorating this much to where it feels like it's going at more of an exponential rate? I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. No, totally. Yeah, for sure. I've always thought like, was this stuff always going on? And just because social media is more present that we're actually getting to see videos of it, now that technology has advanced. Um, but I think a lot of people too will, get on TikTok and they'll just scroll for hours and you'll see it's just common at this point. Another high school shooting, another person died. It's just so common. And we are so desensitized that you just scroll past it at this point. You're like, ah, just another one. And that is so not okay.
Yeah, it's like I should be more phased by this. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And, we were talking kind of before this interview. It's so heavy everywhere you look. It's just such negative, heavy feelings that it's hard to find, laughter and light and just, kind of find that release. So I want to ask you for, people who are kind of struggling to find that release or to find, that light feeling again. What recommendations would you have for someone who is kind of in that rut?
I think it's really important to surround yourself with people you love and that love you. I think sometimes isolating yourself can definitely, be necessary to recharge, but allowing yourself to be isolated for extended periods of times, I think, can actually be detrimental for your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Um, our mind is our biggest enemy. So making sure we're not staying alone with those thoughts too much and reminding of ourselves that, that we're not those things and we're not those feelings, and getting around people, like I said, that can help you feel positive. And don't be afraid to seek help. Honestly, therapy is for everyone, no matter how old or how young. And don't be afraid of like seeking out alternatives, whether they're holistic or medicinal.
Mm-hmm.
I have gone through several different trials of medication throughout the past 5 years. Um, I got diagnosed with just anxiety and depression when I was 16, 17. I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like I struggle with depression as much, but I do struggle with anxiety on a daily basis. Something that's like very internalized, but is constantly always there and existing. And then in 2021, I got diagnosed with ADHD, and that was also a huge grievance and thing I had to really process and grieve. But I knew that that diagnosis would help me heal and find, healthy alternatives and mental health alternatives that would help me feel better as a whole. So don't ever be afraid to go to therapy, and it's okay to be medicated. That's the biggest thing with me is I've come to be okay with is like I am a better person and I can heal more and be the best person that I can be and feel better taking something that helps me have a better quality of life overall. So hopefully ending like a
Yeah.
stigma around therapy and medication, as well as just surrounding yourself with people you love and things you love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. That is, yeah, that's some deep shit that I think a lot of people need to hear. And I want to touch, kind of rolling off of that in your mindset and, making sure that you are getting the help that you need.
And I heard someone once say on a podcast video, they were like, do not forget that every version of you exists within you. So, like the 1 year old, 2 year old, 5 year old, 7 year old, 14 year old, all of those still exist within you. And a lot of people talk about healing your inner child, healing your inner teen. And I think those are very real things. And what's crazy is there's ways throughout my healing process. I feel like my whole 20s has been like me, healing and looking back at my life and
Mm-hmm.
etc. And there has been times where I'm like, okay, what does like younger version of me need to hear? And I'll look in the mirror and I'll say those affirmations, and I kid you not, like I'm looking myself dead in the eyes, look just like you would look soul to soul to another person. And it was like I was looking at my younger self saying these things, and I shit you not, like tears started forming in my eyes. And that, like, I have literally chills. Like, I don't know if you can
I
hear
do
me. Like, I
too.
have, like, the hair is, like, standing on the back of my neck. Like, I literally have, like, full body chills right now. Like, literally, like, there is power in even talking to your younger self that needs to hear those things. And I could not control it. It was, like, not even me. Like, I just started crying,
Oh
just
my
started
God.
bawling my eyes out. And there's the same technique with just like giving yourself a hug like this. It might seem silly, but like closing your eyes and envisioning your younger self and telling your baby self like what you needed to hear, a 5-year-old self that it's gonna be okay, or 13-year-old self that like you're beautiful, you're not what those people told you, like you're so much more than that. Like there's some kind of healing effect, like you said, where it feels uncomfortable because there's some sort of power and it I don't know,
Totally.
it hits something in your soul.
I've, first of all, I also have the chills. I've never thought to do something like that. And that just like makes me think that, I'm working on healing this current version of myself, but the past versions of me have been put on the back burner. I honestly kind of forgot about them. And I feel like to reach that ultimate heal, you need to address all of the issues, all of the childhood trauma. For me, I use a lot of humor to get out of that, uncomfortability. I'm like, I have to make
Me
the
too.
joke, like, and they
I'm the
get,
same way.
yes, they get very, very dark. But I'm like on this experience of like actually confronting those emotions seriously and, just realizing that they are there, they are legit, and I cannot laugh them away, unfortunately. And bitch, I'm starting to heal. It is so crazy. It's wild.
It's uncomfortable, but it's amazing once you're on the other side. It doesn't feel like rainbows and butterflies. You're like, fuck, this hurts. Ow. And then you have to like, look at your like life and how other people have influenced it, but then you have to look at your own life and how you've influenced it.
From an artist perspective, what is it like getting excited for a festival? And then while you're performing, like what's going through your mind?
So I feel like it doesn't really hit me personally until like maybe a day before or a few days before that I'm playing a festival. Obviously, I'm getting ready the months prior, picking out my outfits, of course,
The
picking out
outfits.
songs. The outfits, gotta make sure they arrive on time. But yeah, picking out songs, outfits, etc., booking the hotels, using a Marriott discount so I don't have to pay $500 every time I travel, which is a lot these days. Going to the Spirit counter 100 times at the airport because you get cheaper tickets. But yeah, then obviously once I get to the festival, depending on where it is, I try to meet up with my team. Obviously got to do the hair and makeup before I go on. And then I'm definitely a just like perfectionist. I think I talked about this with you and maybe Emma's podcast, but I'm definitely the person with my laptop out until I go on stage. I wait to the
Yeah.
last minute. So I have like 500 USBs because I'm afraid like they're all gonna fail, and a lot of people feel
Okay.
that way. So I try to like export a bunch. I should have done it obviously way sooner, but gotta keep doing it while I can.
Yeah. No, I would also, if I was going like playing music, I would have like 20 of them. I actually have another friend who's like an artist, and more like house music. But anyway, he will wear USBs around his neck. He like wears them as necklaces and he'll have like 3 of them because he's just so nervous. I'm like, damn, all right.
Yeah, sometimes 3 is not even enough. I've literally heard a story where a guy like three of his USBs all failed. I'm like, you were kidding me. And then
What do
I
you
thought my
do?
USBs were failing. I don't know. Then I thought my USBs were failing at the Sullivan King after party. That
Oh,
was so
yeah.
stressful. Oh yeah, that was before you were there. But like when I was trying to go on, like my intro just was not loading whatsoever, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I mean, obviously I could start in a different place, and that's what I did. And the other
Right.
songs ended up working, but like that happens all the time. And sometimes it's not you, sometimes it's the CDJs. That's even worse.
That is terrifying. Like, again, these are things as a raver that, most ravers don't think about that artists have to worry about. You probably have so many potential pieces of anxiety that could be running through your mind. But like for us, we just show up and we're ready to have a good time. It's totally opposite view.
Yeah. Yep, never judge any DJ, doesn't matter how big you are, by like the first 10 minutes of your set, because we're all just trying to figure out like what is going on. We have no idea. What settings were still left off at the previous DJ? Why is the sync down here, not here? Why is the tempo fader all the way up here? We're just
Oh
like,
my God.
give us a second. Okay, we're good.
Scary, scary. But when you're actually all set up and good to go and you are doing your thing, where do you go in your mind? Like, what is happening?
Oh gosh, it's a good question. I feel like honestly, it's like adrenaline just kind of takes over. I feel like with
Sure.
many artists, you just step on stage and there's just like something clicks. It's like
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden the anxiety goes away. It's just you and the crowd, and it's like honestly, it's like kind of a power of a manifestation because it's almost like you're stepping into that person that you want to be, and like nothing else
Absolutely.
matters in that moment except like you and them and like
Mm-hmm.
performing. So, um, it's kind of just like I don't know, it's like a light switch that happens. You just step on stage and
Absolutely.
it just starts happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I can even say, just being on stage with you and watching you go into the zone, like when we were in the green room up until we got to the stage, I could tell that there were jitters, not from you, but like from the whole team. Like, I think everyone was like this, everybody just wants to do their best. And then as soon as the music started playing, I mean, you were fucking getting up on the stage, rocking out. I was like, oh my God, this girl is doing her thing right now. It just like melted off of you.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like you can ask anyone who was around me before I played. They're just like, leave her alone, let her be in her corner, don't talk to her, just let her do her thing, like let her focus. Because I don't know, the closer I get to performing, the more overstimulated I get and nervous I get,
Mm-hmm.
and
Fair.
so like I truly have to have like no, I guess, stimulation except being in the zone until
Yeah.
I play, and then it's like you said, like completely different person when I step on stage. It's like like backstage, freaking out, zoning in, nobody talked to her. To like, bam, like that's it. I'm ready to party.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes. Absolutely. So for those of you who don't know or didn't see it, I went on to my socials and I asked you guys, what questions do you want to ask Sarah? And let me tell you, some of you guys had serious questions and then some of you just wanted to know some weird shit. So I'm gonna go through it and pick some good ones. If you could only eat one cookie for the rest of your life, what cookie would it be?
Chocolate chip,
A chocolate
hands
chip,
down.
right off the bat. You didn't even think about it.
I'm confident in that one. I've honestly thought about that many times myself. Literally, they're the best. You can't go wrong. Like a chewy chocolate chip, not a hard one, not that
Oh,
crunchy shit.
fucking Chips Ahoy, fucking.
Ew, no, no.
Not even the
That's
milk can
not
save it.
no. No, they're so bad. I'm thinking about like those Panera cookies or like Starbucks cookies. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying?
ooh, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes. Do you feel the same way about a Wendy's chocolate frosty? Because I don't fuck with chocolate ice cream, but a frosty I can get down with.
I mean, they're not terrible. I definitely will eat one, but it's definitely testing the waters. It's about to cross the line.
It's bearable, but don't get crazy. I'm here for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's walking on thin ice.
Hot take. Tell me how you feel about this. Whenever I buy a bag of chips, and I'm talking like not Doritos, like fucking like pop chips or veggie straws, I will open up the bag like as soon as I get home, and then I'll let it sit for a few days open, and then they get like just a little stale, but it adds more crunch. It's not like melt in your mouth. It's it's like crunchy. How do you feel about that?
Okay, first of all, I have questions. How do you like that, but you don't like Chips Ahoy cookies that are hard? I need to know. Wait, the math ain't mathing.
I think I don't know.
You have no words. I'm crying.
Honestly, it's just because okay, here it is. Here it is. The Chips Ahoy, like you pick it up and they're so fucking hard that they just crumble. It's like before you even get it in your mouth, you're just holding the chocolate chip, the single chocolate, the cookie's gone. It like evaporated.
Literally.
Veggie straws, when they're stale, I'll bring you a bag of stale veggie straws. Done.
I'll try it.
All right.
I can't really give you my hot take. I want to initially say no, but I'm not gonna dog it until I try it. So.
Period. Okay, we love that. We love anybody who will try it first, you know, before you go in on it. This person said, "Are you seriously gonna put rhythm in your EDC set for me?" But I want to know, are you gonna put more rhythm in your sets?
I mean, I'm definitely gonna put it in that set. I wasn't lying. He asked for it, and I shall give it to them. I won't play like, you know, straight rhythm for like an hour, but I will definitely play it for a few songs, maybe a few minutes.
If we ever got a Sara Benyo rhythm mix on like SoundCloud, bitch, I would play that shit everywhere, constantly.
I'll definitely do it. I feel like my mix that I just did with Insomniac is heavy. I can go heavier. Don't test me. I will.
No, I feel like you have I mean, obviously I haven't heard what you're working on, but your past sets, you have a very, very healthy balance of everything. So I think it's like a really good mix for sure. Let's ask this one. This one might be more difficult. What is your favorite song that you've ever made?
Ever made? Probably the ones that aren't out yet.
Ooh. That's exciting. That's exciting as shit. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What?
If you see me live, you know. If you
Yeah,
haven't,
yeah.
you gotta change that. That's all I'll say.
While we're on that topic, very quickly, let's talk about upcoming shows for you. Where can people have the chance to see your sets live?
So, in Tampa on the 28th of October, I am supporting DJ Diesel. So, if you are in town, you should come to that. I am also playing EDC Orlando on 11/11. Talk about a manifestation day. That's like portal. But yeah, so I'm gonna play EDC Orlando on Saturday. I believe my set is 2 p.m. on Saturday at Circuit Grounds. And then I also have a few other shows coming up that aren't confirmed yet, but you guys should know what they are soon.
Amazing. Amazing. And for those of you who don't already follow her yet, I will link all of her socials in the comments below. Okay, this is a good one. Someone asked, what mythological creature do you relate to the most?
What are my options? I kind of forget which all ones exist.
God. I'm like a Pegasus, a siren, a Goliath. I don't know. I church person to church person here. I'm like the Bible. I'm going through the Bible.
No, definitely a siren.
Oh.
I was like, definitely a siren for sure.
Yes. You would be a badass siren.
I think I always like kind of resonated with the energy of a siren because you like lure people in with your mystery. But then it's like, bam, hit them with a message. I'm not killing people, but you know.
You know what? You're like low key a siren, right? You're an artist. You're making music. You're like tickling our ears, and we come to your shows to see you. You are the real life form of a siren.
Oh, that's sweet. I think it's just cool too. I mean, like in the aspects of like doing shadow work and like I said, alchemizing the dark within you and turning it into light. I feel like that's how I relate to a siren.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh my God. And if you were a siren, you would have the most badass outfits too. Let's just get that clear.
Maybe that's what it should be for Halloween.
Ooh, that would be cool. You should just like actually wear a mermaid tail and then have somebody push you around.
Peter. You were doing it.
We can like set up a chair for you on the stage, so when you're performing, you're just like staying there.
Why did I envision a grocery cart? I'm like, this is so.
Please. Can we make that happen?
What if we like felt like we somehow blocked out the holes in a grocery cart, but like made it like I don't know, transparent, and then put water
Yes.
in it, so then it's just like I'm sitting in water. I don't know. So, we'll have to think about this.
I'm like, what grocery cart do we use though? Because I feel like Target's would be awful for that. Like it's just like red and very
All these has got the biggest grocery cart ever. Why do they got grocery carts so big in the smallest aisles ever? Every time I go in. Like, literally the smallest grocery store ever with the biggest ass grocery cart.
literally you have to fucking rent those motherfuckers out with your card.
That's what I was about to say. Literally, they're so big you gotta
Fucking U-Hauls out here. Jesus.
oh, y'all need to.
Technically, if we were to go to Aldi and put the fucking quarter in and then take it to a show, we're paying for it. We're not stealing it. We'll bring it back with the quarter, you know? We need our quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll bring it back for sure.
Have you ever thought about making an album?
Yeah, actually, that's something that I definitely want to do eventually. I want to keep releasing singles for now because that, in a time where everybody's attention span is so short, and while I'm still building myself, I think it's more important for me right now as an artist to consistently put out music rather than like take a big break and then put out a bunch of songs. But definitely being a songwriter and having so many stories I want to tell to the world, that is something I definitely want to do in the future. Hopefully sooner
Yeah.
than later.
Yeah,
Definitely plan
yeah.
on putting out like originals though this next year, like completely
Okay.
Sara Benyo songs.
Yes, we love to see it. 2024 is going to be your year. I can fucking feel it. And I would love to ask this too, like when you're making a song, at what point, and is there a point where you're like, this song is complete, I'm 100% confident in it? What is that like as an artist?
Oh gosh, I feel like more than that, and like knowing it's complete is it's like knowing when to just stop.
Stop.
Like, 'cause like I
Yeah.
said, so many of us are always constantly tweaking things, and it's like, okay, like no more. This is good. Like it's good. You have to
Yes.
be good with good enough. And then like the best advice I've heard, from someone when I'm songwriting is like I'll get myself stuck in ruts, but not as much as I used to because someone was like, you have to be okay with not everything being the best thing that you've ever done. Like, if you're writing 20 songs, odds are you're gonna have some really good ones in there, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, to think that every song is gonna be hit after hit after hit after hit is just not realistic. So the more you can just be okay with like doing your best and not having to like simmer and simmer and simmer on something and like, oh, it has to be the best, you're gonna help yourself out in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I feel like a lot of people who are listening to this can definitely relate to that in their own way. A lot of people are trying to make sure that they're perfect all the time, but at some point you just have to realize that perfect doesn't exist. Perfect is what makes you happy. So I feel that for sure. And kind of rolling off of that, you said you had somebody who shared this wisdom with you, and someone asked, who is your hero and why?
The first person, oh gosh, that's the first person that came to mind.
It's hard.
Celebrity wise, first person that comes to my mind is Lady Gaga. I feel like I bring her up a lot and whenever I have interview questions, but she is, I feel like, such an amazing person on so many levels. I like fell in love with everything she did when I was about 12 years old. I love that her music was amazing. She could play piano and be a crazy pop star. The outfits, she supports so many humanitarian issues. She supports gay rights. Like, she was supporting gay marriage in a time where a lot of the United States wasn't fully supporting it yet. And I feel like to use your artist platform to not just, promote a party, but to promote like the betterment of the world and the universe, and supporting really good causes is so important. And I've always looked up to her, especially as a girl in rural Kentucky growing up in a town that didn't even have 20-30,000 people, getting bullied for being unique, and I like look at her and I'm like, this is who I want to be. So
Yeah.
I admire her in so many ways in everything that she does. So definitely look to her as a hero. And honestly, I would just say my parents.
Yeah.
Both of them are musicians, and they've always supported me and loved me. And um, since they themselves are artists, they have never dissuaded me from doing music and have done nothing but support me. And
Beautiful.
to have their support means everything. And especially from my dad. I am really close to him.
Yes.
He took me into music lessons and vocal lessons and piano lessons when I was growing up, and basically anything I could like get my hands on, he wanted to make sure and like set me up for success. So
Yeah.
he got me my in-ears that I have now, thankfully, after years of like trying to save up and ask. He was like, I'm just gonna get you these for Christmas. So now I can like hear
Aw.
myself while I'm performing. He got them for me last Christmas, so I like literally cried because it's a game changer when you're
Yeah.
a singer. You
Oh, I
can't really hear
bet.
yourself while you're DJing all the time, which is frustrating. But when you have
Yeah.
in-ears, they're like very, very expensive. But he was
Yes.
like, you're working really hard. Let me get these for you. So my parents have always been really supportive of me, and I love them for that. And they've accomplished their own and overcome their own obstacles too. So
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you wherever you are watching this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you had as much fun as we had. I just want to say, Sarah, thank you so much for your energy, the kindness, and love that you put in this community. I cannot wait to see how far you go and all of the adventures that you're just going to have coming your way. So many exciting things. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And again, you guys, if you want to follow Sarah, please do. All of her links are going to be in the description. Sarah, any last kind of final comments or thoughts?
I appreciate you guys listening to our nonsense and serious talks.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been really awesome. I am super grateful for the opportunity. If you guys want to see more content like this, let us know. We love making silly little videos together, so
We got our matching hats, our matching frog
yeah,
hats.
how can we forget? We didn't even talk
So
about the beginning.
cute. I'm like, if you didn't notice, come on. What are you doing?
I can't believe I didn't even say anything. That was the whole point. Wow. I hope I see everyone at EDC though. I am super excited for that. Last year I was on the art car, and this year I'm at Circuit Grounds, so very,
Yes.
very honored and grateful.
Definitely. We will see you guys at EDCO on Saturday at Circuit Grounds. You better be there or you're a dweeb. I don't know. That's all I got.
Yeah, all the cool kids are there.
All the cool cats. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you later. Bye, guys.